Well, I'm answering the Unit 6 video question. Question number 1 is about the circuits. And A is find the total equivalent resistance of the circuit. And how you're going to do that is the total equivalent resistance is the resistance of the series plus the resistance of the parallel circuit. And you already know the resistance of the series because it's just R1. And that's going to be just 2 ohms. And then you define the resistance of the parallel circuits. It's 1 parallel equals 1 over R2 plus R3, and so it's 1 over bracket R2 plus R3 bracket plus 1 over R4, and that's going to give you equals 1 bracket 10 plus 5 bracket plus 1 over 30, and that leaves you with 1 over 15 plus 1 over 30, and then you're just going to find the lowest common denominator. That's going to give you 2 over 30 plus 1 over 30 is going to equal to 3 over 30, and then since it's 1 over R parallel, you want to find the reciprocal of that, which is 10, so that the total resistance of the parallel circuits is 10 ohms. So then to find the equivalent, you just add R series plus R parallel, and that's 10 plus 2, so the total resistance is 12 over 10. And you can do that because you know that just because of Ohm law, you know that the total resistance of the R parallel is 1 over R parallel equals 1 over the rest of the R's, or the rest of the resistances in the parallel circuits. So you find 12 ohms is your total equivalent resistance, and then now you can go on to question B and find the current coming from the source, and that's you already know the voltage coming from the source, which is 12 volts. So then it's just going to be 12 divided by 12. So the current coming from the source is, or because current is equal to voltage divided by resistance. So we know the voltage, we know the resistance, and it's just 12 divided by 12. So you're left with 1, and that's your total resistance, or 1I, 1 intensity, I guess. And after that, you're going to have to go into C, which is find the current and voltage for each resistor. And this is a bit of a tricky one. So immediately you can find out the voltage of R, which is the current is going to be 1 because it's coming right from the source. So that's going to be 1 times 2, and the resistance of R1 is just 2, so it's 1 times 2. So you're just left with 2 there. And then since you know that, you know that the total of the voltage is going to be V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4. And then you're going to be able to find out 12 equals 2 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4 is equal to 10 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4. And since you know that the voltage is equal in all parallel circuits, you know that it's going to be 10 equals V plus 2 equals V4. And since they're going to be equal, you know that V4 is going to be 10, and then the sum of V2 plus V3 is also going to be 10. But now, since you know the voltage of V4, you can find the current of that, and that is just the voltage of 4 divided by the resistance of 4, which is 10 divided by 30. So your current is 0.3 amperes. And then since you know that the total current coming out of that parallel circuit is going to be 1. So you can find out the current of resistor 2 and resistor 3 because it's just going to be 1 minus 0.3, and that leaves you with 0.7. So now you know that the current of resistance 2 and resistance of 3 are 0.7 because the current through a series circuit is always the same. So now you know that R2 and R3 are both 0.7 amperes for the current. And now once you know that, you're able to find out their voltages, which is pretty nice. So then V2 is gonna be just the current of 2 times the resistance of 2, which is 0.7 times 10. Leaves you with 7 volts as the voltage for V2, and then V3 is the same thing. It's I, or the current of 3 times the current of 4, or the resistance of 4. No, voltage 3 is equal to the current of 3 times the resistance of 3, which leaves you with V3 equals 0.7 times 5, which leaves you with 3.5 voltage. So then so that's all you have to find out. That's the current and voltage for each resistor. So now you're gonna have to find out, or now I'm just gonna give you my final answers. The voltage of 1 is 2 volts. The current of 1 is 1 amperes. The voltage of 2 is 7 volts. The current of 2 is 0.7 amperes. The voltage of 3 is 3.15 volts. The current of 3 is 0.7 amperes. The voltage of 4 is 10 volts, and finally the current of 4 is 0.3 amperes.